Here's a sad fact. I make 5 round trips a day, 5 days a week for 16 years now, and it still hasn't kicked in. You think I'd be used to it by now? Not true. Every day still wipes me out.
Older though. That's
yeah, I go home and have a side of beef and everything.
there you go.
Well, we're on the mezzanine level, and the primary reason for this level, all of it, is because whenever we have an event upstairs in the ballroom, music and such is almost always nonstop. So down on this level, this is a great place to meet, have a conversation without, yelling above all that music that's taking place upstairs in the ballroom. And while I'm speaking of events, we are still a very active ballroom. Here's a typical year in a nutshell for you. Each and every year, to this day, we still have at least a dozen big band dances, all open to the public, all affordable. In addition to the ongoing big band dances, we are host to other events. We have blues festivals, jazz festivals, Mardi Gras events, swing dances. The ballroom itself is rented out quite often for private affairs as well. If any of this is of any interest to you, especially the dances, and again, these are all a lot of fun and affordable, all you have to do is simply stop by or call the Chamber of Commerce here in Avalon. They're located right at the base of the Green Pleasure Pier in the center of town. Only pier we have, first building on your left, Chamber of Commerce. Or, even more simple than that, just remember it's the 310 area code. With that in mind, phone number is 510-1520. It's designed for Avalon locals to remember after happy hour. It's got to be simple. So give him a call, stop by either way. He'll hook you up and you'll be on your way. And all these events, they are all totally worthwhile. Now, what we have here in front of us, this is a small portion of what was originally a 100-foot-long soda fountain known as the Marine Bar. This is located upstairs in the ballroom all the way up until 1948. But you see, in 1948, that's when our large commercial kitchen, along with, for the very first time, a fully equipped wet bar was installed. So at that time, this smaller portion of Marine Bar was moved down here. As you can see, it's still used to this day. And it's a great place as a starting point as anything to point out the fact that we are really kind of a big island of paradox, building paradox. Right here in front of us, for example, folks. Okay, we have this beautiful Marine Bar, which is surrounded by freshwater fish. That's a little strange right off the bat. Been experienced at a beautiful big casino. There's never been any gambling here, there never will be any gambling here, but nevertheless, we still have a big, beautiful, impressive casino. And also here in Catalina Island, all the way at the top of Avalon Canyon Road, right up there behind the Botanical Gardens, you can find this very large, very impressive looking mausoleum. Been there since the early 1930s. By the way, there's nobody in it, but we still have one heck of an impressive looking empty mausoleum here on the island. We have a 3rd Street in Avalon. I know, big deal, anywhere you go in the world has a 3rd Street. What makes our 3rd Street kind of special, though, is this fact. You have to realize that we do not have a 1st, a 2nd, a 4th, a 5th, or a 6th Street. Just a 3rd sitting there. But it's a tough crowd. You guys can check this out for yourselves after the tour. But just look on the back of your tour guide maps or your ticket envelopes, because you're going to discover here in Avalon, our one and only 3rd Street actually happens to be, it's true, 2nd Street back from the beach. So we are also dealing with little giants here on the island. Every single business on this island will deliver, except for one business, the post office. Got to go down and get your own mail from them. Nobody knows why. On the way out here, you came across a boardwalk. That's made out of concrete. Up in the canyon, we have a bird park. There's no feathered animals in it or near it, but there is a bird park up there. Behind us, we have a very exclusive private beach club known as Descanso Beach. I'll tell you how you can find this very exclusive private club, though. Right out in front of it, there's a sign that's about that big. It says, "Open to the public, welcome." Kind of weird for an exclusive private club to advertise. What's the point in that? We have an arcade. You won't find any games in it. And even our wildlife, we have birds that can swim, same birds. They can then dive down to depths deep as 200 feet of water, capturing small fish for their food. These are the cormorants. And then in the summertime, when the water warms up to offset the birds that swim, we have fish that fly. Yeah. Makes much sense as a barbed wire canoe, huh? But that's kind of the deal with the island. Very, very unique. And I'm really happy to say, though, thanks to the Wrigleys, who in 1972, they created a trust fund known as the Catalina Island Conservancy. The great news about this is the fact that for generations to come, 88% of this island will remain untouched, never ever to be developed. How cool is that in this day and age, right off the coast of Southern California? I'll tell you, thanks to the Wrigleys for that. Are there any questions or anything at this point in time while we're hanging out here?
So this is a soda bar. This was not a
well, alcoholic beverages were not legally served here until 1948, 16 years after the end of Prohibition.